It's important to note that the stresses in curved beams are different than the stresses in a standard beam that we're used to calculating. The first most important thing is the sign of the moments that we are applying. So if we have a curved beam as shown here, and we apply a moment to that beam, a positive moment is one that decreases the curvature of the beam. So a section that was here is going to rotate, and that's going to drive the center of curvature further away. So the implications of that are, if we have an elliptical cross-section for the beam as shown here on the right, the centroidal axis is in the geometric center of that cross-section, while the neutral axis has migrated down below and is closer to the center of curvature than is the centroidal axis. That generates a nonlinear stress distribution through the width of the beam. So the stress distribution is still compressive above and tensile below. So we have tensile stresses down here, and we have compressive stresses above the neutral axis for the given applied moments. And that distribution, however, is nonlinear. So it's important for us to note, I have a radius to the centroid, which is further out than the radius to the neutral axis. So those radii from the center of curvature are different, and that then has an effect on the stress distribution. We take the difference between the centroidal and neutral axes and define that by a letter E, which is generally thought of as eccentricity. So E represents the eccentricity of the loading. It's slightly off of the geometric center. So there are a number of dimensions that we need to specify when we're looking at curved beams. R0 is the radius of the outer fiber. Ri is the radius of the inner fibers. Rn locates the neutral axis from the center of curvature. Remember, all of these are measured from the center of curvature. Rc is the radius of the centroidal axis. H is the height of the section, which is shown right here. C0 is the distance from the neutral axis to the outer fiber. So if this is the neutral axis in here, C0 comes to the outermost fibers, and C inside, measures the distance from the neutral axis to the bottom fibers. M is a bending moment, and it is positive when it decreases the curvature of the beam. The neutral axis is identified and located using this formula right here, where we divide the cross-sectional area by the integral of 1 over r times dA, and we integrate that from the inner to the outer radius. The stress distribution, if you measure y from the neutral axis to any location inside the cross-section, so let's go back and look at what y is. You'll notice that y is right here. It's the distance between r and the neutral axis radius from the center of curvature. So y is rn minus r. So we could rewrite this equation right here, which gives us the stress distribution in terms of m as m rn minus r over a e r. So there is our stress distribution, and it's important for you to also note that the moment is positive if it's decreasing the curvature, and so the tensile stresses are inside or below the neutral axis towards the center of curvature, and the compressive stresses are outside the neutral axis, away from the center of curvature. The innermost stresses are given by measurements Ci, and the outermost stresses are given by measurements C0. This is a good time to do an example problem, and this is an example problem from the Shigley textbook, where we consider the stresses through section AA in a curved crane hook, and the cross-section area, however, of that crane hook is rectangular. It is of a width 0.75 inches, and it spans a 4-inch length from inside to outside. So in this case, our I is 2 inches and our outer is 6 inches. If we look carefully at this cross-section AA, if we move the force to the centroid over here, we're also going to have a moment. So we are going to have an axial force generated divided by that, and we're going to have a moment. And you'll notice that that moment will be positive because it is trying to increase the radius of curvature of this crane hook. So there are a number of things that we have to do in order to figure out what the stresses are through the cross-section of this hook. And that is, we need to know what the neutral axis measurement is. Remember, we're measuring that distance from the center of curvature. Here's the center of curvature of the crane hook. We also need to know the centroidal axis. The centroidal axis is easy to locate because it passes through the geometric center of the rectangle. That would be 2 inches up plus another 2 inches, so our centroidal axis is 4 inches from the center of curvature. So our centroidal axis, as I just mentioned, is 4 inches from the center of curvature. If we look at a section here, you know we have force and moment acting. We have to find what the neutral axis is, and that is we take the cross-sectional area and we divide it by the integral from the inside to the outside of 1 over r dA. So the cross-sectional area is just going to be equal to 4 inches times 3/4 of an inch, which is just going to be 3 inches squared. What is my dA? Well, I'm integrating from Ri to R outer along this cross-section. So my dA is just going to be equal to the width b times the increment dr. My Rn is going to be this 3 square inches divided by the integral from R inner, that's 2 inches, to R outer, that is 6 inches, of 1 over r times b dr. So this just becomes 3 inches squared divided by b times ln r, and I evaluate that from 2 to 6 inches. When we evaluate this, we find that that is just 3.641. Why did we need that? Well, remember, we also need to find the eccentricity because the eccentricity shows up in the equation for calculating the stresses. So the eccentricity, the centroidal minus the neutral axis distance. And so we take 4 inches and we subtract 3.641 from it. That gives me an eccentricity of 0.359 inches. Now I have to sort out what my moment is as well. So I have to find my moment. Now that we have the eccentricity and the neutral axis location right here, we can go back to our formula for stress in terms of the moment, the neutral axis location, and any radial location we want. If we have the moment, the cross-sectional area, the eccentricity, and the location of the neutral axis. We find the moment by moving the force which is applied to the centroid. The force that's applied vertically downward passes through the center of curvature, so the moment, if we move it over to the centroid, which is 4 inches away from the center of curvature, we get a 20,000 inch-pound moment. Now, if we want to figure out what the bending stress is at the interior, that is where Ri is equal to 2 inches, we take that moment, we divide it by the cross-sectional area and the eccentricity, and then we have to take the difference between the neutral axis location, well, that was 3.641. We have to subtract from that the location of interest where we want to find the stress, that's 2 inches, and we divide that by 2 inches. A bending stress of 15,237 psi. If we want to find it on the outermost fibers, we take the neutral axis we take the moment, we divide it by A, we divide it by the eccentricity, and we multiply that by 3.641 minus 6 inches. And so we also divide by 6 inches using the formula up above. And when we do that, you can see that we're going to get a compressive stress, and the magnitude of that compressive stress is minus 7,301 psi. Now, all that does is give us the bending stress. You have to keep in mind that this crane hook is curved. It is loaded by a 5,000-pound vertically downward force that passes through the center of curvature. So if we take a section right here, that's the section AA that we care about the stresses, you would find that the stress there's not only a bending stress, there's also a tensile stress associated with it. So we are applying a moment and we have a tensile stress. So the net stress that we have acting has to be our bending stress plus our tensile stress. And what is our tensile stress going to be? Well, if we evaluate this, my F is 5,000 pounds and my A is 3 square inches. We get a tensile stress of 1,667 psi. Our net stress on the inside, is going to be my bending stress, and it was 15,237 psi, and I add to that 1,667 psi, which gives us a value of roughly 16,904 psi net tensile stress on the inner fibers. In our net stress on the outer fibers, 7,301 psi, 1667 tensile axial stress. So my net stress on the outermost fibers is compressive minus 5,634 psi.